The choices that were made in drafting the Constitution have come to haunt us now. The Electoral College, which allows for the election of a president who lost the popular vote, it never happened in the 20th century. It's happened twice this century and almost happened two other times. 2 senators per state. It was a necessary compromise for the Constitution. But think about during the first 2 years of the Biden presidency, when there were 50 Republican and 50 Democratic senators. The 50 Democratic senators represented 43 million more people than the 50 Republican senators. Or think of life tenure for Supreme Court justices. At the time the Constitution was written, the average age was 36 years old, life expectancy. Now, of course, thankfully, it's much longer. Clarence Thomas was appointed to the Supreme Court in 1991 when he was 43 years old. If he stays on the court until he's 90, the age Justice Stevens retired, he'll be a justice for 47 years. That's too much power in one person's hand for too long a period of time. And I think the Supreme Court has compounded the problems by things we've talked about, allowing partisan gerrymandering, saying that spending of money in election campaigns is pure speech and can't be regulated, striking down key provisions of the Voting Rights Act. And what my book argues is that all of this together has put us in this situation where there really is a crisis facing American democracy.
Well, are you just in disagreement with those decisions, or is there something very basic here that is causing what I gather you regard as too much unsettlement, or if that's the appropriate term?
I think that there is a crisis of democracy is faced by the loss of faith that people have in American government, that when you look at the polls, for example, the Pew Research Institute has been doing polls for a long time about confidence in government. The high watermark actually was 1964, but now we're at a low watermark. Congress, the Supreme Court have the lowest approval ratings ever. Our country is more deeply ideologically polarized than at any time since Reconstruction. And so what I'm talking about is the things that I think caused this. And to take the examples I mentioned, I think that they were mistakes, though necessary ones, when the Constitution was ratified. Take the Electoral College. It makes no sense in a democracy to have a system where the loser of the popular vote can become president. 2 senators per state wasn't very troubling in 1787 when the difference between the most populous and the least populous state was about 9-1. Now the difference between Wyoming and California in population is 63-1, but they both have 2 senators. That doesn't make sense. Life tenure for Supreme Court justices maybe made sense when life expectancy was 36 years. It doesn't today. So I think these are the things that are giving rise to the underlying causes of the problems we see in our democracy now.
Next week, it's going to be the former U.S. ambassador to Russia and Stanford professor of political science, former Ambassador Michael McFaul, in conversation with Larry Diamond, who's also at Stanford. Autocrats versus Democrats is his book, The New Global Disorder. That's going to be a great program next week. Be sure to check it out, and then have a couple of weeks of rest, and we'll be back in January. Thanks again for being with us today.